What is going on, guys? The Inside the Blue podcast, and today we have a giant preseason recap against the Houston Texans, a 28-10 loss. The Giants lose their first preseason game of the year. They are now 1-1, heading into the final game against the Jets. And this game, it kind of started off pretty poor. Stroud goes down. The starters played for both teams. Stroud came out earlier than Jones, but Stroud was putting together a very solid drive. They go for it on fourth down to, work on their fourth downs, and the Giants get a nice defensive block by Dexter Lawrence. And after that, we see Daniel Jones, and I think the first thing that Giants fans want to see is Daniel Jones put together a good drive, right? We want to see confidence early out of Daniel Jones, and to see him sling the football to Malik Neighbors, Slayton, Hyatt, anybody. And we didn't see that. First play of the game, a near interception, and when I saw that, I was like, good gosh, is this the Daniel Jones that we're going to get for the game? And that's kind of what happened. Daniel Jones didn't play great. I know, coming off a torn ACL, not an easy injury to recover from, but I don't know. I thought that with Daniel Jones, I would have seen a little bit of just a better, more structure, better stuff. I mean, I thought there were plays that he rushed. There were plays that I think he took too long. There was just a lot of bad, poor reads and everything. But like I said, Daniel Jones' first game coming off torn ACL. Not going to worry about it too much. Of course, the media was all over Daniel Jones, $40 million quarterback, this and that. I think if there's a quarterback that, off the media that gets probably the most hate, is probably Daniel Jones. And of course, the contract, the situation, all that, of course, gets brought up in the media, right? $40 million quarterback, and he plays like this. Sure. I'm not going to get too much into the contract. We did that many episodes ago about my opinions on it. But for the Giants, Daniel Jones was 11 of 18, 118 yards, 61% completion, and 2 interceptions. Those 2 interceptions, one of those costing the Giants points of a terrible pick six. And I didn't understand what he was trying to do. I mean, I understood trying to get the football out of play, but if you're gonna throw it like that, throw it into the ground. And by the way, it's not like this is his first rodeo of playing QB on an NFL team. This is his 6th year. He's a 6th-year starter, and he's still doing mistakes like this, which does concern me. Because there's no reason he should be making the same mistakes over and over again. He's making for 6 consecutive years. And with Daniel Jones, what did I want to see? I wanted him to see him and Malik Neighbors connect a lot. They connected They connected 4 times. We'll get into Malik Neighbors later on, but I would have liked a better game out of Daniel Jones. That's the bottom line. We had our live stream. Definitely thankful for all you guys tuning in, but my gosh, a bad game, a game to shake off all the rust. I'm gonna be hard on Daniel Jones. If I see a bad game, and he's gonna get a lot of criticism. And this game, it was like a D plus game from him. Especially if you're getting paid with what he's getting paid. I understand, you can save a lot of money if you cut him this year, but you need to see better play out of that. Even if you were just doing what Stroud was doing in that game, quick dump offs, getting quick yards, feeding your tight end, and going to your wide receiver one. That's obviously the simple stuff to play quarterback, but Daniel Jones can't do that. He can't. He just can't. And I wish Daniel Jones could be good, because I feel like this is the year that Joe Shane Brian Dable, the front office, are giving him a legitimate shot at being a decent QB in this league. That offensive line played pretty darn good in the pass game. Run game, not so much. But the pass protection was there. And I think their only pressure was the time in that first half that Daniel Jones threw an interception for points. That was the only pressure. So on 19 dropbacks, they had just one pressure. That's a good sign. And they weren't playing with John Runyon at guard. I think it was Aaron Stinney, I think he was playing. But still, really good stuff out of the offensive line, because that's another main talking point. 85 sacks last year. And that's huge. Because the main thing that Giants fans, including myself, somewhat defend Daniel Jones is that he doesn't have time to throw in the pocket, and no quarterback would ever succeed in that type of situation, in that type of offensive line. So, if Daniel Jones can't throw well with a good offensive line, then he's probably out of the league, or he's remaining a backup for the rest of his career. But I mean, listen, Daniel Jones does have some traits to his game that can make him an okay QB. Like, he has legs, and something that in the NFL you need is a quarterback that has legs that could be very mobile. I mean, he had a nice run for, I think, 12 yards in the game. Need to see more out of that. And that's when Daniel Jones is successful, when he uses his legs and he's able to sling it downfield. And that's why he was successful in 2022, was he was using his legs, he was having rushing touchdowns, high rushing yard games. And that's what makes Daniel Jones successful. What doesn't make him successful is him creating his own sacks and letting the plays not develop and him rushing it. Because in his mind, he's probably like, okay, I'm only probably going to have 2 seconds to throw. But if you're going to do that, hey, call an audible or tell your wide receiver to run a different type of route. Like, I know what Dable and Kafka and all the offensive, coordinators and all that type of stuff want you to do. But you're the one who's throwing the football. You have control of how that offense moves down the field. Daniel Jones' stats after quarter one, terrible. 3 drives, 2 interceptions, 4 for 8, 26 yards, an average of 3.3 yards per throw, and a QBR of 17.7. Well, there's no defending that crap show. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this was a D plus. This was a D plus outing. But yeah, running game wasn't good. Singletary, who had a touchdown, but just 20 yards on 10 carries. And you know something too about this game? It's just because it was a preseason game. I was looking forward to it for most of my day. I wanted to see Daniel Jones, see what he can do with an improved offensive line, a stud in Malik Neighbors. He didn't have it in Houston. Derek Stingley with an interception, a pick 6. Can't happen. Can't happen. And if you're going to want to beat the Vikings, that definitely can't happen if you play like that. Because what we saw today, yesterday, was abysmal. An abysmal effort. Pass protection was awesome, like we said. Elijah Chapman with one of the best plays of the preseason on the defensive play. My gosh, this guy ran down 40 yards to catch a guy and to make a tackle past the line of scrimmage. And that probably won him a roster spot. When you see plays like that, you're going to make a roster. You're going to make the roster if you make plays like that. So really solid stuff. Injury-wise, Micah McFadden went down with a hip injury, I believe it was. I assume he's week to week. But I guess to round off this quick episode, It's the things that make us excited about this season. And I know this week wasn't great. A lot of interceptions, a lot of poor play. It's just the preseason. You know? They're going to implement different types of plays, more maneuver. It's not like this is their starting offensive plays like that. Like most of the stuff was pretty basic. Daniel Jones taking a few shots. Running the ball simple, not much maneuver. Jet sweep of Malik Neighbors for 5 yards. That was cool. But overall, just some easy mistakes that could be fixed. And that happened last year too. If you fix a few of those mistakes last year, the Giants actually would have won 9 games. They would have beat the Rams, they would have beat the Buffalo Bills, and they would have beat the Jets. But 3 mistakes costed you a season and costed you a playoff spot. And now you get Malik Neighbors, an elite offensive line, or not elite offensive line, but an improved offensive line that could become maybe elite under Carmen Brasillo. But yeah, Darius Slayton with the strong game. Just a lot of mistakes that can be easily fixed, but we'll be alright. That's going to do it for this podcast. A quick one, quick recap, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.